This conference will now be recorded.
Andreas,
Yes, Kashabulu,
yeah, can we just start?
you may go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Andreas. Um good good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So, dear designated authorities, designated members, and my dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome you all to this important meeting of designated authorities. My sincere thanks to all of you for joining today and sparing your valuable time despite of your busy schedules. As you all know, the ISTA has become a key organization for ensuring supply of quality seeds worldwide and expanding expertise over 83 countries to meet the needs of the seed industries globally and making valuable contributions to the food security worldwide. ISTA has been making progress towards its goals to develop rules and procedures for seed sampling and testing so that are based on science and fit the needs of the seed sector, as well as developing collaborations to expand the seed sampling and testing capabilities globally. Further, ISTA is focusing on new initiatives such as the introduction of new technologies into the rules, seed, seed health initiatives, and validation studies, reaching the regions that are not represented in ISTA, and expanding collaborations with affiliated organizations worldwide. I'm glad to mention that the recently ISTA and FAO jointly published a handbook on guidelines for establishment and management of seed testing laboratories and provides a comprehensive guidelines for establishing and managing seed testing laboratories. Over the preceding 100 years, ISTA has made a tremendous progress in the field of seed testing and quality assurances, rendered valuable contributions to global agriculture and food security worldwide by providing science based methodologies for sampling and testing of seed moving in domestic as well as the international seed trade. And it will continue this legacy that meets the needs of the next generation seed industry as well. I am delighted to mention that in 2024, ISTA enters its second century and will completing be successfully completing 100 years of its wonderful journey. In view of the ISTA's centenary celebrations, it is proposed to hold annual meeting from July 1 to 4 and also a joint meeting on 5th in Cambridge, UK, where the ISTA began 100 years, which includes the ministerial session, joint meetings of IFS and ISTA will be organized. So today, this virtual meeting is being organized to discuss the, of course, about the latest topics in details with you all. So the main agenda, it was already shared. So in this meeting, uh, so the first agenda, it starts with the FAO ISTA handbook project overview by the Steve Jones, ISTA immediate past president, then followed by electronic certificates, updates, progress, and timelines. Andreas Weiss, ISTA Secretary General, and Ernest Allen, ISTA Vice President. The next topic is the ISTA Seed Health Project Initiatives by the Craig McGill, Chair of the ISTA Executive Committee and Seed Health Working Group. And Andreas Weiss and then myself will be talking on the plans for the annual meeting 2024 and also the 100 years of ISTA celebrations. The followed by Q&A. So all are welcome to contribute to the Ernest Allen. Then he'll be coordinating the Q&A for this meeting. Then followed by Q&A, and then the meeting will be concluded with my a few remarks. So that will be all today's agenda. And then once again, thank you for your time and looking forward for your active participation. Now I will hand over to Steve Jones. Over to Steve Jones.
Thanks, Kashivulu. As Kashivulu mentioned, I'm going to give an overview of the joint FAO-ISTA handbook, guidelines for the establishment and management of seed testing laboratories. New seed laboratories are still needed in different countries across the world, and FAO requested ISTA to work on updating the handbook that was issued in the 1980s and had been published by Dutch colleagues with the support of ISTA and FAO. That project book looked at tropical species especially and expanding labs into the tropics. Working with Wilson Hugo as a project leader for FAO, I was tasked to bring together an ISTA team to produce the new guidelines. And the expanded guideline is worldwide, and it's useful for new laboratories, expanding your current laboratory, or updating well-established laboratories. It's a good reminder or a read of the basics that are needed. The handbook covers the planning stage, implementation, sustainability, and ongoing. Has 16 chapters in it, 116 pages. It looks at as well as the planning and why do you need a laboratory and what resources do you need. It involves overviews of the test methods, references to ISTA rules and handbooks and other useful information, and also involves QA and what to do for accreditation. It's free to all, both on the FAO or ISTA websites as a downloadable PDF. It's already been used in several ISTA workshops as a reference document, and will, in the new year, should become available in French and Spanish. And we very much thank all the people involved in this production. The main aim of the handbook is the planning, the doing, the checking, and the actions taken. Very much the QA idea of plan, do, check, act. And within there, one of the first decisions is, why do you want a laboratory? Who's it for? How big is it? What species do you need to do and test? And the handbook gives you guidelines in the different chapters and appendices to make those decisions. As well as the different methods and overviews of those, we have sampling included. We have overviews and pictures from different laboratories around the world, and very many thanks to all the different laboratories and technical committees that were involved in providing pictures and reviewing the technical aspects within the chapters. So these 4 extracts are just to give you an idea of what's in the handbook if you haven't seen it, but I would encourage people in both new and old labs to look at this on either the FAO or ISTA website and download it. There are some useful things in there. And if you're thinking about accreditation, After developing your laboratory, there are also guidelines there. Part of the team was Florina Pallada from the QA office, Christine Herzog, Joël Lechappe, Eddie Goldschag, in writing some of these chapters. And then there was an overview and review by technical committees and also other members of the ISTA executive and regional representation. So this gives you an overview of what's there. ISTA accreditation isn't the main focus of the handbook. It's how to build and start your laboratory, but ISTA accreditation could be one of your end goals. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, on that presentation. I will take up with the next topic, the update on electronic certificates or e-certificates, how we call them in conjunction to the phytos. Ernest will join in later in that presentation. And I have to make that a little smaller for me. You can see here a brief overview of what is happening in the moment. And on the orange boxes, you see how a laboratory can access their part of these hub for the electronic certificates. And the green box on the bottom right is showing you on how to access as the viewer of the certificates these certificates. As I said, on the left-hand side, there is a laboratory access. You don't notice when you go in there that you have to pass two gates. One is at our internet provider, InfoPro, and the provider of the certificates, MySign. And it showed in the past that this access way is working quite good for us. It's a safe access, and that is what we all expect, because we have data, and data will be stored on the pale orange ones. There are two servers. One is based in Basel and one in Zurich. They are redundant, so they have both the same things on it. If one will fail, the other will jump in. That is how most of the server structure is built up, also for suppliers who are selling goods and stuff via the internet, that they have two independent servers used for this purpose. Now, coming to the first orange box here again, you can fill these electronic certificates, change them if necessary, and sign them. When they are signed, they are available as a PDF. That's in the second box, and they will be sent to the laboratory who filled these certificates. The laboratory can then provide these certificates which contain a access code for their clients to access the servers via the green route, which I come to in a minute. They can either be supplied then to these clients by emails or putting them on their client portals, and there will also be what we found may be easier to access QR code to get to the point where you have to put in the data of the certificates to view each certificate. Now I showed you that manually this process is okay. Also filling by an Excel file if you have to fill a number of certificates, but we were not able to sign a big number of certificates at the same time, or different batches of certificates when they were uploaded by an Excel file. So we came to the point that we introduced, together with MySign and the laboratories working in this project, that was mainly, in that case, Germany 3, France 2, Hungary 1, Italy 3, India 39, and New Zealand 1. that there should be a solution, and we agreed that the easiest way would be an API solution that is filling over a website where you have your own access code to your own area of certificates and can fill via an API solution these certificates. You can change different parts of the certificates and different certificates, and you can sign as many and when certificates as you like. This task was successfully completed by France 2 and New Zealand 1, and out of that we took what was found and needed to be changed, and these changes were applied, and now it's under testing by Germany 3, Hungary 1, and Italy 3. When they are signed, and this is for provisionals when they are signed or originals when they are signed, they will be stored on these two servers, and going to the green box when the client has got his PDF of this certificate, he will find in the top left corner the name and the number of the certificate and an access code. And with this, you could go to the ISTA website either by typing in www.ctest.org or using the QR link. Then you add in your number, your certificate number and the certificate code, and you can verify this PDF certificate that it is the true certificate and the true original which is stored on these two servers. This is a read-only access, and you can only do it for one certificate. You need to look at another one, you type in the next one and can read and verify the next one. This will prevent us from having fraudulent use of certificates, because each certificate which you have in the form of a PDF, the data on it you can verify by looking at this certificate on these servers. Maybe we can go to the next slide. A number of things which were mentioned here are summarized here. The laboratories have their own area in this e-certificate platform, so they cannot see the platform from other laboratories, accredited laboratories, nor do anything else than changing and working on their certificates. And changing means if you have a provisional certificate, you can make out of that an original, or if you put the data in first for a few tests and you have it as a draft on the e-certificate platform, you can add the other data later and sign the certificate and make originals or provisionals out of it. The interesting thing here is if you have a provisional certificate and you want to add the data which are missing to make it original with all the data in it, then you can use the same provisional which you have, so the number is not changing during the time. And if goods are shipped with a provisional certificate and arrive at the port of destination, it may be that the original is available, and then you will see the original. As a viewer of the certificates, you can also print out from the system another paper copy for yourself, file it and keep it as a true document, because what you print out from the system, that reflects the original which is stored on the platform. Next slide, please. As we mentioned, when they are signed, these certificates, they will be sent to the laboratory and they can choose their normal way to supply it to their clients. What we know, of course, is it does not have to be put into an envelope anymore and mailed to the clients. They can get it directly as a PDF in PDF form from the laboratory or supplied to them by the laboratory's clients portal, which is a responsibility of the laboratory. The laboratory is doing the work and they should supply it to the data owners, and they can then supply it to any point in the world they like, to their clients, to authorities, to whatever destination. We talked about the viewing of the certificates before, and here's how the API link will work. It is in a second testing phase in the moment, and we would like to add a third one with a few other laboratories just to check out what is the process and what can be done. The installation of the API link is done via MySign. That is related to a little cost issue to have that there. Actually, if you want to fill them by Excel and verify them manually afterwards, or fill them manually and make a manual completion, this is freely available and doesn't need any extra cost. As we said, we would like to continue to check this with 5 other laboratories, and we have the time because we want to go live after the costs are verified by the ECOM and the ordinary general meeting. And on cost, I would like to hand over to Ernest Allen.
Thank you, Andreas. Hopefully you guys can hear me, and I see you can't see me, but I am here. All right, I'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully my camera will come up in a moment. So the executive committee and a lot of the stakeholders that we've spoken to on the topic of e-certificates believe that this additional tool will be a valuable asset to those that issue ISTA certificates. Formally in 2021 and 2023, ISTA conducted a series of questionnaires to determine the need for the paper certificates, which we expect to be a fairly large ongoing investment when the project is finally implemented. Based on the questionnaire, the data suggested that for each ISTA certificate, about 2.5 paper certificates will have been issued when taking into account provisionals, duplicates, and misprints, which would no longer be needed with e-certificates. This will be taken into account also when we kind of figure out the price of the e-certificates. ISTA will not convert solely to e-certificates. Those that want to stick with paper certificates still can. The e-certificate system will run parallel to the paper certificate system. The goal of the executive committee and the secretariat is to ensure that this project is at least cost neutral, considering that the membership will have options as to which system they use. Based on the survey that I mentioned a few seconds ago, we expect the uptake of the e-certificate system by accredited laboratories to be between 25 and 40%. We will, again, as I mentioned earlier, we will take this into consideration when we consider the price point of the new system, which will obviously best serve our members. Next slide. Craig, hand it over to you. We'll be able to answer this, talk to you guys more about it and answer any questions you have with the e-certificates during the question and answer session a little later.
Thank you, Ernest. Well, good morning, good evening, hello to everyone. So what I'd like to do is give you an update on the ISTA Seed Health projects. As was indicated a number during the annual meeting in Verona and also with earlier communications, this project is designed to enhance the seed health strategy within ISTA. In terms of increasing seed lab capability around seed testing and also to accelerate the development of ISTA seed health methods and for the benefit of users, of course. So just a quick reminder, the seed health strategy has the aims of assess, ISTA's current and future role in seed health. So how can we support the seed sector in terms of the assessment of the seed health of seeds. Remembering that our main concern in terms of this is how the seed health in terms of the planting value of the seeds. And also the seed health strategy aims to develop policy proposals, including resources needed for discussion and voting by the executive committee. So this seed health working group within the executive committee, which I chair and which has members of Keshavulu Kunasoth, Ernest Allen, Andreas Weiss, Florina Pravada, and Valerie Cockrell, are very much about developing policy proposals and including looking at the resources that can be made available to facilitate ISTA's future and current role in seed health. Of course, we won't be doing this in isolation, and an important part of this is technical input, particularly from the ISTA Seed Health Committee as we move through this process. So an update on what we're working on currently is the Seed Health Seminar. The information was again given to some of you during the annual meeting in Verona. Since that time, we had a meeting during the Asia Pacific Seed Alliance Congress, which was held in Christchurch earlier in November. So the likely dates for the Congress for the Seed Health Seminar will be 27 to 29 August 2024. So that's later than the initial proposed dates of March, and it will be a joint seminar between ISTA, the International Seed Federation, and the Asia Pacific Seed Alliance. We've finalised the location, which is Bengaluru or Bangalore in India, and the duration will be 2.5 days. So what I'd like to give you now is a brief overview of the provisional program. So next slide, please. So the Seed Health Seminar will begin with international regulation and sampling fundamentals. There will be keynote speakers who will give keynote addresses, and also as part of this program, there will be input from both ISTA and ISF speakers. If we go down to session 2, we'll be looking at addressing the importance of seed quality testing in global agriculture, and session 3 will be international phytosanitary regulations. Session 4, seed sampling techniques, with of course input from both ISTA and ISF. Again, next slide, please. Okay. Day 2, we'll look at seed-borne diseases, particularly identification and management of seed-borne diseases, and from an ISF perspective, and ISTA's seed pest list. There will then be discussion on world seed health issues, in which we will bring in speakers from different parts of the world to talk on and explore current challenges in terms of seed health issues. And then, as Keshavulu mentioned in his opening talk, one of the emphasis for ISTA at the moment is new technologies, and so there'll be an advanced seed testing and techniques session and method validation. The third day will involve a visit to the Indo-American Hybrid Seed ISTA accredited laboratory. So we will visit that laboratory in the morning, and then that will be followed by a discussion forum with the theme of implementation of seed health testing methods and future needs, before we have the closing ceremony, which will involve closing remarks and distribution of certificates of participation. Next slide, please. So just coming back to one of the topics that will be in the Seed Health Seminar, which is the ISTA reference pest list. That reference pest list is continuing to evolve. For those of you who have not seen it yet or accessed it, it can be accessed from the ISTA website on the URL noted in the slide. As I said, the ISTA reference pest list is continuing to evolve. This work is led by the ISTA Seed Health Committee, and we are about, or ISTA is about to release version 10 soon, which will include chickpea as a new species included within the reference pest list. Currently, the group within the Seed Health Committee is working on lupin and lentil as 2 more species for which information will be available on pests. That's expected to be completed in 2024, and true potato seeds will be worked on in 2024 as well. So with that, that's a brief update on where we are with this, the seed health strategy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Craig. And we want to tell you now something about the annual meeting 2024 and the centenary work, which is proposed to be shown at that or during this annual meeting or after it. I will, you can see here the logo for our 2024 meeting, which is in Cambridge in the United Kingdom, beginning of July. And maybe next slide, please. You will see here that we added one day, and this day is a tour day, but I will come later to that. The location in Cambridge will be the Cambridge Union Society. It's a debating society which can offer the place and the location which we need. It took quite some time to find something where this meeting could happen, and I thank very much Olga Stöckli also for that, and she was involved in all these preparations. We will start on July 1, of course. Before the meeting there will be meetings between the executive committee and also a meeting of a common meeting together of the whole ISTA technical committees. The opening ceremony, as I said, will be on July 1, and this is followed by a seminar on seed quality assurance, a critical component of food and nutritional security, organized by 4 committees, 4 technical committees, and as we speak, they are organizing the speakers for that. And we hope to have everything ready when we go online with that beginning of the year for opening the registration for this meeting. You will get all via the newsletter and announcement and the link where you can organize and see more about the schedule at that time. July 2 and July 3 will be meetings of the technical committees and their presentations. The presentations mainly will take part on July 2. On July 2, we also looking forward of meeting you all in person in Cambridge for a in-person meeting of our designated authorities, which we hope can take place and you all will join. On July 3 in the evening, we will have our 100 years dinner at the Cambridge Guildhall, and this is followed in the morning of July 4 by the ordinary general meeting. If we talk about the registration fee, the ECOM agreed that only for this part there will be a registration fee asked, not for what we are going to do together the later day and in the afternoon of July 4. And I hand over to Keshavulu, not forgetting to mention that on July 5, as I said, there's an ISTA tour in the afternoon, tour through NIAB, the National Institute of Agricultural Botany in Cambridge, and we will plant a memorial tree also there. Keshavulu, please continue.
Thanks, Andreas. Thanks for giving an overview of the ISTA annual meeting 2024 and then 100 years of the ISTA. Followed by the ordinary general meeting. So it is in the forenoon in the afternoon session as a part of centenary celebrations. The ministerial session is proposed to hold on the role and then future of ISTA in seed testing and quality assurances in the face of climate change. So the aim of this ministerial session or ministerial conference is to provide a platform for responding to the needs and challenges identified by ISTA member countries. So here the ministers will be invited from the different regions of distinct countries and nations to discuss the topics, and then besides key messages for the seed sector development, and especially with respect to seed quality assurances. So this session will specifically comprises of key messages of invited ministers or the representatives of the ministers of different countries. Experiences they will be sharing, the experiences associated with the ISTA and identification of needs and challenges faced by member countries in seed testing and quality assurances, and understanding the key regional needs and then expectations and also challenges in seed quality testing and assurances, including where the capability and capacity building are most important, and then urgent as well. Then the another could be they can share the a strengthening of support to member countries, and then capacity building programs, and then and the dissemination of knowledge in the seed science and technology, as well as a possible collaborations nationally, regionally, and then globally will be maybe so discussed over there. And then finally, the role and then future strategy of ISTA for the next 100 years will be so discussed and maybe concluded with this ministerial conference. So the plan was here. We are thinking that so to invite the 5 to 6 ministers from different regions, and then we started plans to identify and then invite the ministers, and then I welcome you all. If anyone would like to just put this about this session to your ministers or the deputy ministers, whoever would like to join for this meeting, I welcome, and then please contact us, and then Andreas will be contacting the ministers through designated authorities, and you are welcome if anyone is so interested, and so from your region. With this, I think if you have any further questions, and then we can have, and then you can ask, of course, in the QA session. So next slide, please. Can we go to the and then yeah. So sorry, Andreas, do you want to say about the facilities over there, and then because you had been to the facilities, and could you please?
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. We also would like to mention that in the morning of July 5, there is a session together with the International Seed Federation, a joint session, because you all know that it's not only ISTA celebrating its 100 years, but also ISF, and we agreed with ISF to have this here in Cambridge, not during the World Seed Congress in Rotterdam, where ISF is meeting months before. So we want to have it at the place where both organizations were founded, and we will invite speakers and are in discussion with ISF to do so on the topic of quality seed production for resilient and sustainable agriculture. If you go to the next slide, please, Olga. That is the location, the main meeting room, and you see it's in the Cambridge Union Society, where the main event will take place. The capacity is over 300 here in this room, so we hope to fill it up completely. You see here that it is a real debating room, a typical British style, I would say. And we have 2 dinners, where one is the 100 years dinner in the Cambridge Guildhall, where the picture on the left-hand side. Unfortunately, the organ, which you can see on the top right in the picture on the left, is not working, and we cannot enjoy this organ, but we hope that we can enjoy a nice 100 years dinner in this area. And this is an ISTA event only. On the ISTA ISF evening, we will be in the Christ College on the right-hand side in a typical college room building. Thank you very much. And you see here the logos, also what you saw on the top right. Keshavulu, I think you would like to mention which is the other logo. I think you're muted.
Yeah. So
the other logos are
go ahead.
100.
Yeah, so this is the 100 years, the ISTA 100 years of the logo, and then probably again in the first or the second week of the January, so ISTA executive committee, and then so we'll be organizing a webinar to launch the ISTA centenary celebrations logo, and then from there maybe so we'll be giving the ISTA will be giving all the so news to different modes, so newsletters, and then social media, and also writing to the affiliated organizations as well.
Yes, and we will use this logo during the whole year, also on the website. Now the regular logo on all publications and also on all letterheads we will exchange for the next year to show that we successfully have a century in progress in seed quality assurance.
Ernest?
Okay.
Over, yeah.
All right. I've finally got my camera working. Now that we've completed the agenda, I do want to open the floor for questions. But before we do that, if we can go back to slide 2 of the presentation, the second slide. I want everyone attending to be able to see the topics from the presentation so that you can better organize your questions if you have any. So while you are thinking about your questions, I have a few requests just to keep things orderly since everyone's going to be opening their mics at the same time. If you are not actively speaking, please keep your mic on mute so that there are no unintended distractions. And if you have a question, just raise your hand. You can use the hand icon in the bottom left of your screen. I'll call on you in the order that I see your hand raised. Once you have asked your questions, if you don't mind just putting your hand down also, so that I don't call on you twice. If you have any technical issues with your microphone, like I had with my camera earlier, you can just type your question into the comments section. Andreas, if you would just help me to keep an eye on that section, since I'll also be looking at the hands raised. I don't want to skip anyone. And for all the speakers that spoke today, just kind of be ready to come in as a question is asked. I won't call on you. I'll just know that you probably just know when it's time for you to be able to speak. And with that, do you guys have any questions? I think we did such a great job that that everyone fully understands everything the executive board executive committee is doing. Maybe there are no questions. All right. Looks like we have someone typing something in the comments. Let's give them a second.
Ryan, you put a hi in there. You can open your mic as well and ask a question if that's the case.
Hi, can you hear me, Ernest?
Yes, I can hear you.
Sorry, just a clarity on the ministerial meeting. Do you require the designated members to make any representations on your behalf, or will you be doing that yourselves? Thanks.
Keshavulu or Andres, that's probably a question better suited for you guys.
Yeah. Thanks for your questions, and then Probably, yeah. So the priority would be only the ministers or the deputy ministers, so will be invited. I don't think the designated authorities so will be, I mean, to be represented, but so preferably we are targeting to invite and the ministers or deputy ministers or the secretaries, whoever in the different countries. Yeah. So yeah. Is it clear, Andreas?
For me,
Do you want to add?
it is clear. Brian, is it clear to you?
Yeah, that's fine, guys. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Looks like we have another question in the comments asking if it's going to be possible to listen to this webinar again. I saw that some people did come in a little late. Yes, this presentation is being recorded, so we'll at some point be able to post this on the ISTA website. Is that right, Andreas?
We'll make it available together with the presentations for
Great.
this presentation, yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
I think, and so there is a question, I think, hand raised from Michael Mushik.
Michael?
Yes, I have a question for Steve. Steve, you mentioned that the handbook for ISTA FAO was on request of FAO. Is there any strategy of FAO to help developing countries to establish seed testing laboratories?
Thank you, Michael. Very good question. I think, like many of us know, that there are several partners working together across the world to help developing countries or regions that don't have a designated authority or don't have a ISTA or a testing laboratory or seed certification in their country. And FAO are looking to support and work with those areas of the world that have been identified. And there is work within the World Seed Partnership that actually sprung from the earlier meetings of the World Seed Congresses. And maybe, Andreas, you'd like to give an update on that, because I know you and Kashavulu have been involved in discussions in several regions of the world that have approached ISTA, and where we also have close contacts with FAO and other organizations. Thanks for the question, Michael.
Thank you, Michael and Steve. Just what I would like to mention here, there are initiatives also of FAO on themselves to support countries and laboratories. And we are in constant discussion with them. What ISTA can do in this case, I think the next discussion will be beginning of the year, when as ISTA president and maybe other officers will have a meeting with FAO together to discuss future things. A few months ago, we had discussions on, or we had welcomed a new member in ISTA, which is totally supported by FAO, for instance, and the aim of that support is to get this country accreditation within a certain time frame. There also will probably be discussions on supporting ISTA workshops locally where it is needed from a point of view of FAO. But FAO is also doing their own work and bringing countries to a point where they will be able to have their seed laws ready, to have seed testing laboratories ready. These projects are totally run by FAO. What they ask ISTA about is often a colleague who could, on a long term, support these countries as a consultant, and we are happy to assist and bring the parties together in that case. Kashavulu, you would like to add a few things to that?
Yeah, so nothing to add, the Andreas, but you covered very well, then Steve, then Andreas. So thank you, thanks. I think so. Whenever we talk to the and interact with the FAO, then officials and then authorities, so they always just asking the ISTA to provide the capacity building activities, and then so every on and half, I would say that every fortnight or in a month, so they will be asking ISTA to provide the capacity building, and then how to establish a laboratory, and then I think so this the handbook will definitely be very useful for the in the developing countries. Yeah.
Uh,
I just have a question about ministerial meeting. From my understanding is the DA cannot representing the minister, and the minister will be invited from different region for 5 to 6 minister. So that means you will invite minister, and the minister meeting only have a representing regions, not every country's minister. Is that correct? Only your plan is to have 5, 6 minister have a meeting. Is that correct? I just want clarity on the ministerial meeting. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Rosin. So thanks for the question. So for instance, the regions of the North America. So we started talking through the DAs and then ISTA executive representatives. So like Canada, then United States, and also like in South America, started talking with them, and I think so probably all may not be, yeah, so they may not come. Maybe we are thinking then based on the priority, and then if they say yes, so we will welcome, the ISTA will welcome them, and then to welcome them to participate in the ministerial session. For instance, if we invite for Canada and then US, so if both are coming, that's good. But so we are hoping that at least one is required from the region. So similarly, in the South American region, maybe we are targeting 1 or 2 based on the feedback from the designated authorities and ISTA executive committee representatives. I think that's how, and then similarly the African countries and Southeast Asian countries. So we are working on this. Still, yeah, it is under discussion and discussion with the designated authorities. Yeah. Hope
Maybe
it is clear, Rosin. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Maybe Kashabulu, what I can add is if you won't have a good contact to your ministers or would like your ministers to participate, feel free to contact us. As Kashabulu said, contact either the Secretariat or contact Kashabulu, and we will supply you with the information you may need or the questions your ministers may have. We said 5 or 6. If we have 8, we don't mind.
Yeah.
We would be very happy to have more than that,
Yeah.
but we would like to have all the regions represented. We have a few who said yes until now, that they will join. I don't want to mention the names here because they are also in a planning phase, and you know how it is. That can still be going into another direction. That's why I don't want to mention names here. But there are a few which, from the designated authorities or even from the local representatives of other organizations, have said that they would like to join this meeting. But feel free to let us know if you are interested and need more information.
Yeah, I think the key to this is just to, if you think that your minister would like to come from your area, let us know as soon as possible so we can do some proper planning and make sure that they feel welcome and that we give them the type of welcome that they deserve. Michael, I see that your hand is up again.
Yes, thank you, Ernest. I try to understand it completely. So you do not want us as designated authorities to contact the minister directly. It will go out from the secretariat, if I understand it. Or do you want us that we brief our ministers about it? I
No,
mean, we
absolutely.
regularly have to brief our minister in the area of seeds, and this includes seed testing.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Keshivulu and Andreas answer this too, but absolutely, go ahead and brief them. Let them know it's not a secret that we want them there. So do what you normally do, follow your normal routine. They still will probably get a letter from us also, inviting them to the meeting also. Keshivulu, Andreas.
Yeah, thanks, Ernest. I think yes, Michael. Yeah, you can contact your minister, and then if he's willing to, and then it is great. And then we will just send a invitation letter from the ISTA secretariat or from myself. So I'll be writing to all the ministers, then based on the feedback, and then through the designated authorities, for sure. And then if you please let us know so if the minister is willing to join the conference, and we will send a letter or send a letter.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add, but Michael, if you want the Swiss minister to come, then I'm happy to support you.
Yeah, I think so. One more, and I think we will also planning to write a letters in this regards to the all the designated authorities as well. So maybe next week, or yeah. So you will get letters, and then to how to invite the ministers, and then what are the plans during the ministerial conference. So we'll be giving all the details, and then we'll be writing to you directly. Yeah. Yes, Andreas, do you want to say anything?
No, Kakabulu, that was
Yeah.
covering everything from my point.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't see any additional comments, and I don't see any hands raised. So I'll go ahead and hand it over to Keshivulu for closing remarks.
Thanks, Ernest. So hello everyone. So I am at the closing. So we are now coming to the end of this meeting. On behalf of ISTA, I extend my sincere thanks to all designated authorities, designated members, and ISTA colleagues for participating in the meeting and sparing your valuable time. So despite of your hectic schedules and different time zones, thank you very much. I also thank the Steve Jones, ISTA immediate past president, Ernest Allen, vice president of ISTA, Craig McGill, the executive committee of ISTA, Andreas Weiss, secretary general, Olga Sturkel, and then the other team at the secretariat for their support in organizing this important meeting. So I hope so you found the discussion on the upcoming ISTA centenary celebrations, annual meetings, seminars, ministerial conference, and the initiatives of ISTA to be useful, then including the update on the development of seed health strategy, introduction of electronic certificates and new technologies, and then the ISTA, and then followed by the ISTA FAO giant handbook overview. So that will be put forth for the discussion in upcoming annual meeting. If there are for their approval and then for their implementation. So if you have any additional thoughts or the comments after the meeting, so please send them to the secretariat so we can able to just follow up and then we can clarify the all your questions. So here I also thank the Steve Jones for coordinating this designated authorities meeting, and then he is the chair of the designated authorities. Thanks for the planning and then agenda and completing this for today's meeting. It gives me immense pleasure to invite you all to the ISTA annual meeting, and then that includes the ISTA centenary celebrations in Cambridge, UK in July 2024. We look forward to seeing most of you or all of you in Cambridge, UK for the ISTA centenary celebrations. On behalf of the ISTA, I would like to wish you and your loved ones a happy Christmas season that is full of warmth, joy, and good health. So thank you once again for your time, contribution, commitment to the ISTA and to facilitate the seed trade, seed trade, and also and to facilitate the quality assurances in your own country or in your region. I am incredibly proud to have all as a part of the ISTA team, and here is to a prosperous 2024. So thank you one and all.
Thank you as well. And could we all open our cameras just to see each other at least at the end?
Can you yeah.
Thank you very much. And I think Olga will be making a print screen out of that, and we can use that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Great one, everyone.
Thank you, Barandal. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.